Hey everyone, we've got our helper here, but I just wanted to hit this subject here of the 2025 Ram 1500. So it's not a new generation, as you can see. I've been waiting to do this video for a while here because if you know, we have a Ram 1500, my Laramie Sport with the 5.7 Hemi in it with some mods. I have a 300 SRT8 with a 6.1 Hemi in it, and then we have a Durango RT Tow and Go with some SRT goodies and the 5.7 Hemi in it. So as you can see, I live and die by the Hemi. So with this new info coming out here about the Ram, it's quite interesting. I do have to say I like the redesign a lot. You know, they built off of a great truck. The interior, as you've seen in my Ram, which is basically a top trim, is already really good, which I will kind of go over a little bit more in the video here. So they really, and this is the tungsten trim here, but they really accentuated and built upon the great exterior and interior of these trucks. But of course, they are getting rid of one thing. And they're doing that with all of their trucks here. Jeep with the Hurricane Inline 6 and Dodge as well. So we're going to hit on this here. So this high output 3-liter Hurricane i6 engine. Of course, I want to hit on this topic here. You know, if you've seen anything, which if you're watching this video, you know that Dodge, Stellantis basically is being hit with a lot of fees for sending out each 5.7 and each 6.4 and 6.2 Hemi that they're sending out, thousands of dollars per car. I think a 5.7 is like a $1,200 fine by the U.S. government when they send that out because of displacement and gas usage. But so essentially they're making these engines here to comply with government policies, which really sucks. Eleanor doesn't even like it. So essentially here, they're making these engines to comply, much like the German manufacturers have done with their twin-turbo 6s and their twin-turbo 8s. And really, when you look at Stellantis as a whole, or I guess Chrysler Group in America, they've been built off of that Hemi V8. So when you take it away, you're essentially devoiding the company of their heritage and of their identity. Really, it's their identity that you're taking away. So we're going to look at the 5.7 Hemi replacement here, which is the base 3-liter Hurricane i6. So you're getting 420 horsepower, 469 pound-feet of torque. Your towing capacity is 11,560 and your payload is 1910. So my Hemi, my 5.7 Hemi in it, stock 5.7, I have the e-torque and I have some mods on it, so it is producing more than what the stock number is. But the stock Hemi, if you were to buy a base model Ram with the 5.7, comes with 395 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. And that, mind you, is on regular unleaded gas. These, anything with a twin turbo in it, you're supposed to put premium in. So now you're paying more money in gas, and you're getting a little bit more horsepower and some more speed, but all that money is basically gaining you nothing. And now you look at the high output 3-liter Hurricane, of course, is premium fuel, but that is replacing the 6.4 Hemi, which also uses premium fuel. So you're getting 540 horsepower in that and 521 pound-feet of torque. So you're getting more in the horsepower and torque range with this high output version with putting premium in than this 6.4, but you're not getting that sound, you're not getting that low end torque. Now with the available 3-liter Hurricane, the base model, you're essentially, and when we look at trucks and other big SUVs here, even like the Durango, my parents had a Ford Flex with the 3.5-liter EcoBoost in it, which put out roughly the same numbers as the 5.7 Hemi and the Durango, 365 horsepower, right around 400 pound-feet of torque. And to tell you the truth, the Flex was the more aerodynamic and smaller vehicle, although it did seat 6 just like the Durango does, but it weighed less. It required premium fuel, and on the basically, driving with the Durango, we get anywhere from 16 to 17 miles per gallon on average, depending on how you drive. And the Flex was anywhere from 17 to 19. So you're really not seeing a big difference between these boosted engines and the regular naturally aspirated V8s. So by the time you put money into premium gas, you're getting maybe that 1 to 2 miles per gallon better and maybe a little bit more performance, you're not seeing any net returns. So let that soak in. There's no fucking net returns. So you're taking away the identity of the company of Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep, which designs vehicles, which they still do, to fit a V8 under the hood, as in the Grand Wagoneer, the Grand Cherokee L, 300, Charger, all the Ram trucks. They're designed to fit that bigger displacement Hemi in there. And now you're putting in a 3-liter hairdryer engine, which is taking away the identity of the car. So if you're an enthusiast like me and you like to throw exhausts on your trucks to get that nice throaty V8 sound with a cold air intake to hear the intake, much like the Durango or even the 300 SRT8, you're not getting that anymore. You're getting a boosted 6 sound even with an exhaust. So you're not going to be able to replicate that V8. So Ram, what they've done with their trucks is basically brilliant, and I do agree that they needed to add the 6-cylinder option, but you keep the 3.6 liters. So you can see the interior is sort of unchanged. There's some minor tweaks to it. You get the passenger screen now, which is awesome, and you get a digital display cluster, and you get some other cool stuff in there. New audio system, which they needed to update from the Harman Kardon, of course, but the Harman Kardon sucks. So they've really made some much needed updates on the truck. But now you are replacing it with, and this truck, mind you, that the tungsten looks just absolutely fantastic. And if you know my truck, that's the color of my Laramie Sport. So it looks great. Everything about it is basically improved on and looks much better just with this little mid-cycle refresh. But the only problem is now you're replacing the Hemi with the inline 6 boosted engine. So essentially these trucks here for 2025, you're getting the internal combustion engine trucks with the 3.6 liter V6, about 300 horsepower. Then you're getting the base 3 liter twin turbo Hurricane, which is 420 horsepower. And of course you have the option for the high output, which is right around 540, which is what I would go for if I was making that choice. So now those are your internal combustion engines, which if you're used to Ford, that's great because they've been doing that for years, but they've always had that one option, that Coyote V8 5-liter option in there, just for those purists who like the V8 option. And Chevy or GM is doing that too with the 6.2 in there, the 6.2 Ecotec in their trucks. So they're still giving you that option. Ram took it away. Ram has been known to have the highest performing V8 engines in their trucks for the last 20 years since the Hemi came out. And when they did the redesign in 2009 to make that truck produce 395 horsepower, that was the highest performing truck on the road. And it has been since then, basically, unless you were to get a Raptor or a TRX. So you can see here we're having the electric Ram come up here in 2025, and then you're having that essentially electrified version of the Ram, which in my opinion is actually pretty dang cool. The electric version or the plug-in hybrid version of the Ram, from what I've seen, works as an electric motor and has the 3.6 in there, but the 3.6 Pentastars in there to power that battery to propel the truck forward. And supposedly that truck is supposed to have like 650 foot-pound torque and oh gosh, I want to say 550 horsepower. So it's something astronomical that boosts the truck to 60 in like 4.5 or less seconds, which is damn near as fast as the TRX. You know, the TRX is anywhere from 3.5 to 4. So that would honestly be my truck to buy, would be that plug-in hybrid essentially, because you get a ton of range on the plug-in and then you get that backup with no range anxiety because you've got the gas engine that powers the battery when the battery runs out to propel the truck forward. And lo and behold, it's over 6,000 pounds. So you have business owners like myself who can use that as depreciation and get some tax benefits out of it here. So essentially, that would be my option, but they need to do these internal combustion trucks. They need to have them as, look at that. See, now that's a good looking truck. They need to have it as the Hemi still, and it's I mean, I know they can. I understand why they can't, but you're taking away the identity of the truck. Whether that's to raise the prices, I mean, it is what it is, but you have to have one Hemi option for these trucks. You do. You have to have the 5.7 as an option still, and if you have to charge more for that truck, whether that's a $5,000 add-on to the brand new price of the truck, that's the $5,000 add-on. So I think they're going cold turkey with these Hemis, and they're taking them away from us, which really sucks. So the Ram Charger here, if we look at that, now this is a brilliant idea and a brilliant truck. So you have 690 driving range, 690 miles. Targeted total torque, 650 pound-feet, 615. That's insane. The targeted best-in-class maximum towing is 14,000 pounds. Targeted 60, 4.4 seconds. And you know it's going to be better than that. Ram always goes high on the estimated 0 to 60. So this is going to be close to a 4-second vehicle. At that point, you don't even need to buy a Charger or Challenger. You have a truck that is faster than them with the 6.4 Hemi. You can just buy that. The targeted total horsepower is 663 horsepower. That's insane. So you can see here, the 2025 Ram Charger delivers innovative performance with a liquid-cooled 92 kilowatt-hour battery, back paired with a 130 kilowatt generator. The Pentastar V6 engine generates mechanical power, which is converted to electrical power by the onboard generator for maximum efficiency. The generator can also increase the power to the motor and the gearbox when serious power is needed. So that's how this truck is driven. That is innovative, and to tell you the truth, that is excellent. That's the way a truck should be designed. Now with this truck, though, the only problem is you're not getting that V8 sound. You know, you essentially can't put an exhaust on the truck. You know, there's not a lot of modding that you can do to the truck. But it's essentially an electric truck, but you don't have to worry about range anxiety. This is brilliant. Where I don't think it's brilliant is the internal combustion vehicles. You need to have the Hemi option. You need to have that option for purists out there. You're losing your brand identity. Now this truck, though, is the way to go. I can't wait to test drive this truck when it comes out. I'm going to definitely do it. It's great. You know, you're building off. I can't wait to see the 6th generation of this truck, essentially, is what I'm waiting for. Now, I eventually want to get a TRX to essentially be able to say that I owned it and drove it for a little bit. And then I want to see what this 6th generation is going to look like when they redesign in 2029 or whenever it's going to happen. But if I were to buy one of these now, I'm going to wait a few years, buy one used by a Tungsten, and, enjoy the hell out of it. This is great, though, with the Ram Charger. Now, we're going to hop into my Hemi here, and I'm just going to kind of explain here what you're missing out off of the twin turbo V6s that they have to offer. Although this car doesn't have anything to do with this Ram video I'm talking about, I just want to show you why people buy Chrysler products at the end of the day. And, you know, my opinion is just an opinion. As I try to open this up. This is why you buy Stellantis products. It's for their exceptional V8 engines. And when this goes away, the brand, as seen in SRT, loses its identity. So when I start this up, it's always loud. It's always fast. It runs great. It's a fantastic engine. And, you know, like I said, when you lose this, you lose your identity. So, on to my Ram. I love this car. So, on to my Ram truck here. You know, I've had this now. I've had 3 Rams. I buy them, and when I initially was going to buy a truck, when I was still in college, it was going to be a Ford. Not necessarily with the Coyote V8 or the EcoBoost. I wasn't sure what I was going to get yet. But after driving the Ram, I realized that this was the truck that I wanted because of the V8 power. The manly, good-looking, chiseled lines of the truck. And the fact that, you know, it was unmatched in terms of payload, in terms of options at the time, and in terms of performance. And now I've worked my way up to this truck now. You know, that's basically an $80,000 truck, brand new. And it still has this 5.7 liter Hemi V8. Mind the leaves there, as this occasionally sits outside. It's fall. And a Hemi, so I could throw a K&N cold air intake onto it. I can throw a massive Gibson exhaust onto it, which we will hear shortly. I mean, look at those exhaust tips. This is my hand. Those are 5-inch tips. And air suspension, cool rims. I mean, this is a truck for people who like trucks. And when you lose that identity, you know, when you take away the option for somebody to have a Hemi and to make it sound loud, you know, you're losing your brand identity of Ram. Ram has been known for the Hemi for 20 years now. And when you lose that, you're losing an identity. And I've watched videos from Stellantis engineers. And, you know, granted, the ICE power of these trucks are 420 and now 540. So, you know, a lot of the engineers will say, well, you know, the horsepower is so high that you're not going to, you know, you're really not going to forget, or you're basically going to forget about the V8, is what they said in layman's terms. But where you lose that is like, yeah, okay, the average customer is not going to do anything to their truck. But when you get somebody like me who likes to mod their trucks, as in an exhaust or a cold air intake, you know, basic stuff like that, well, now you get an inline, a SST basically is what they're calling it, the straight 6 turbo or twin turbo. Now you're losing that, and you're losing that sound of the Hemi. And for people who mod their trucks, good luck. Good luck winning that market over. Right now, you know, you're going to lose it to GM products. You're going to lose that to Ford. You're going to lose it to Nissan. So, well, not necessarily to Nissan. Let's be honest. But you're losing that market now of like, holy shit, I got a Ram and I got a fucking Hemi V8 in this motherfucker who's loud and can be obnoxious, can be fun, you know, has the available e-torque system. So you're adding on another, 115 pound-feet of torque. So in all reality, off the line, this truck with the mods, you're still getting great performance similar to those twin turbo 6s. You know, this truck is stock 395 horsepower and 420 pound-feet torque. With the mods, theoretically with the mods and that e-torque, now you're looking at something that's 450 horsepower and 550-ish pound-feet torque with the mods. Theoretically. That's somebody shooting the shit, having a beer, and telling other people what they have in their truck. So you lose that. You know, granted, the looks of the truck got a little bit better, but now you lose that and you lose your identity. I have to say, I'm totally okay with the Ram Charger. Awesome, fantastic idea, game changing. Totally fine with the electric truck. You know what? And I'm totally fine with the ICE vehicles, except you don't give that other option for that Hemi V8, whether they kept the 6.4 or whether they threw a 6.4 in here. Just an option, or the 5.7. You got rid of that option completely. You got rid of that option. Yeah, I am upset because my next truck, whether it be a TRX, whether it be a new Ram in the 6th generation or even a later 5th generation, I can't buy it now and I can't mod it the way I want to. You know, I like that. In rural America, where you have a lot of people who have these Ram trucks who like to do this stuff, you can't do that anymore. You can't do it. So now I'm buying an $80,000 truck, which my next truck, whether it be new or used, the sticker price is going to be right around 80 or higher. If it's a TRX, it's going to be higher. Now, my next truck, if I don't get that TRX, I'm going to be stuck with something that's a inline 6. So we're going to be sounding more like a BMW instead of an American fucking V8. So with that being said, you know, I just want to start this up quick just to kind of, you know, show you what everybody is going to be missing out. See if I can even start the thing. Well, I can't start it because the hood's open. I'm going to have to close the hood. There's some safety features with the Hemi. These trucks are incredibly safe now. There we go. Essentially, that's what you're missing out on now in any of these new Ram trucks. Ram Charger, okay, I understand. Electric truck, of course, it's quiet. Ram Charger, very quiet as well. It's totally fine. The performance is acceptable. But now on the ICE vehicles, you don't get this sound anymore. Even the regular Hemi without an exhaust sounds phenomenal. But now we're not getting this and we're missing out on it. So I think Ram is going through, Stellantis as a whole is going through an identity crisis. As, you know, people who buy these trucks and cars, you know, we love big V8s. And if we don't have that available option, and I understand that with the fees and everything that the government puts, the fines on these companies, but now we don't have that option as consumers, so now that makes us want to look elsewhere. Unless you're a diehard Stellantis guy like me, good luck. Good luck trying to appeal to our market anymore. That's the way I look at it.